Hello guys, welcome to the third game in the bishop pair advantage series, and this game was played between Zlatanovic and Ladinovic in Paris in 2012. And let's see the game. c4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, and e4, knight c6, knight ge2. The so-called Botvinnik setup in the English opening. White may want to prepare the d4 advance and keep possibilities of playing on either the queen side or king side. After castling d6, d3, knight e8, and this is the first mistake by black. Black wants to prepare f5, but this knight is badly placed. If white plays d4, more logical was the move knight d7 with the same idea. Bishop e3, bishop e6. Black wants to prevent d4 by attacking the c4 pawn. Instead, knight d4 was logical to radically prevent the move d4. Knight d5. This is an aggressive way of protecting the c4 pawn. And knight e7. It looks like black forgot about his plan to play f5. Black's knights should be placed on d4 and d7. They are retreating, and this is a signal for white to strike in the center. Knight d4 was still better. Now d4, white plays d4 after bishop takes d5. There was no reason to give the bishop pair here for black. Instead, c6 was better, and after knight takes e7, queen takes e7, d5, cd5, and cd5, bishop d7, rook c1 gives white better prospectus, but black's position is still stable. But here black's gives away his bishop pair, and after c takes d5, f5. Black is consistent, but at the wrong moment. He opens the position for white's bishop and allows access to the e6 square, which was weakened after parting with the light squared bishop. Now queen b3. This is a fine move, attacking the pawn on b7. White also prepares to capture on e5. Black is unable to recapture with the pawn due to the discovered check. Recapturing with the bishop allows the white knight to get to e6. a5. But this is an interesting possibility, but it cannot stop white's initiative. D takes c5, bishop takes e5, knight d4, maybe including the moves here instead of knight d4, f4, and after bishop g7 was more precise. Now it is dangerous for black because knight d4 is coming. So, but white goes knight d4, a4, queen takes b7, queen b8, queen takes b8, rook takes b8, and that was the point of black's plan. He is threatening to crush white's pawn center and is attacking b2. White must play accurately to keep an advantage. E takes f5, knight takes f5, knight takes f5, g takes f5. The b2 pawn is however lost, but white can choose how to lose it. Rook a b1, rook takes b2, rook takes b2, bishop takes b2. The end of a series of forced moves. Inventive black play helped him retain material balance. The material is equal and reduced, but white is better due to the advantage of the bishop pair. After deeper analysis of the position, it becomes clear that black actually has a dangerous plan to target the a2 pawn. His idea is to play a3 and transfer the knight to the queen side using knight f6 e4 c3 route. This would force white to exchange the light squared bishop, which could result in problems regarding the d5 pawn. White's next move is superb and highlights the superiority of bishop pair. Bishop h3. The knight must change its route. The f5 pawn is under attack, so the aforementioned threat is eliminated. Black has problems to reactivate his kingside pieces. Knight g7. Here, if at all, knight would have played knight f6, then bishop takes f5, knight takes d5, then bishop e6 comes. So knight g7, rook d1, with the idea to place the rook on c2, rook b8, and bishop f1. The knight is deflected from its roots, and now the bishop prevents the move rook b5 in some lines. Rook b4, rook d2, bishop e5, rook c2, rook b2, rook takes b2, bishop takes b2. After some fine maneuvering, a2 is finally safe. It is time to find the best squares for the bishops and to centralize the king. Bishop b5. This is a prelude to a very interesting setup. And after a3, bishop a7, bishop f6. Here, instead of bishop f6, bishop c3 was a better way to protect the c7 pawn. But now white's king goes to a3 pawn. If at all bishop c3 is played and bishop a5 is played to protect the c7 pawn, the white king goes to the a3 pawn and attacks the bishop on its way. King f. So bishop f6, bishop b8, bishop d8, bishop d7, king f7, f4. This is a funny situation. Black can only activate the king and knight without losing material by playing knight g6. King g6 and knight h5. But then white will exchange the bishop for the knight after bishop e8 check and gets a probably winning position due to so many black pawns being fixed on dark squares. Knight h5. Black goes for active play but runs into some tactics. Bishop takes f5, knight f6, bishop d3, and here if at all bishop e6 is played, then king e7 and the knight gets to the c3 square. So here bishop d3 was correct, and after knight takes d5, then there is bishop c4. The pin is very important, and black can only get rid of this pin by allowing his pawns to double, and white is winning here. King e6, king f2, c6, bishop a7, king e7, and king e7 and bishop takes d5, c takes d5, and the rest is a matter of technique. So there is no need for explanation for the game. White is easily winning here. After king e3, h5, h3, king e5, bishop no, g4 is better. After g4, then bishop b4, and as you can see, h take g4, h take g4, and bishop e1. Here, as you can see, because both the black pawns are in the dark squares, it can be attacked with the white's dark squared bishop. And so guys, it is now a matter of technique. I think in this opening, after badly playing the opening, black resourcefully carried out the middle game and found some practical chances, but still the bishop pair advantage was the decisive positional factor, which along with some fine tactic helps white to convert the advantage into a win. Okay, thank you all. I hope you would have enjoyed the game. I will meet you in the next game.